Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 529, Trustee Training class with Dr. Bay. And so this is one of those episodes where we're not winging it, we're not just freestyling it, but it is going to be once again an interview with Dr. Bay, and we're going to be asking some very complex questions and even just questions related to trusteeship. Actually, Dr. Bay wanted to definitely do this episode with you, so thank you for coming on, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing great and getting graded just like you.
Appreciate that, Dr. Bay. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, definitely remember what we want to talk about today, which is basically planning your estate every single day. The importance of knowing what day it is for you, what week it is, what month it is for you, what year it is for you, and planning out your estate accordingly. It is as if, Dr. Bay, you can consciously plan your future. Is that would you say that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, that's what everybody should do. You should know what year it is for you, what month it is for you, what week it is for you, what day it is for you, and what you're to do in each. And so once you plan it, then because you got to know that it's your thoughts and subsequent actions that create your world. And if you have not planned anything, it's like, how can you have a dream come true if you don't have a dream?
That's very true. It's not gonna happen if you don't have one. Okay, well, we'll leave it at there. So we're definitely going to talk about this today. So appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen to replay. Please and definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the notification button. We do pop up episodes. This is a pop up episode with Dr. Bay. It's not that we don't know what we're going to talk about. We definitely have great uh, trustee conversations with Dr. Bay based off of him having the financial services business, and as well just having conversations with him living in that trustee quote unquote position prior and now. So here we go, Dr. Bay. A lot of people that listen to the podcast are trustees of a family estate, but Dr. Bay, these people are living off of a belief system and a recall system. So when it comes to planning literally the details every single day of the 9 things they should do every single day moving forward, when you, what would you say to someone about the importance of planning out their day in advance and maybe share some examples of what you've done in the past that can help people out?
Well, how do you know what you're going to do if you don't plan to do it? In other words, you should have a plan about pretty much everything that you're going to do and plan what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and who you're going to do it with, and what you're going to do it with. In other words, one of the things I say in my daily success covenant is that I think about it, but then I do only the thing for this consumption or whether it's serving others that is righteous, because planning to take advantage of someone, whether you realize it or not, in the long run, you're sowing that seed and that's what you're going to reap. And most people are reaping things and don't know why they're reaping it, but it is because they're sowing it, or because they're not reaping it because they're not sowing it. So you need to sow what you want so you can reap what you want, but it should be righteous. In other words, it should be beneficial to all concerned.
Okay. So When it comes to planning out your day in advance, what did you do when you were in the working world?
Well, I had a 9 card filing system, and if something came up today that, and it was a 1 day for me, uh, but what came up was something that needs to be done on a 7 day, I would take that card, write it on the card, and stick it in the 7 day slot. And that way, when the 7 day slot, the night before the 7 day, I would pull that card up, and in putting down what I was going to do for the next day, planning my next day, I would put down what I was going to do, and I would do that for every day, for
Okay, so you had a
everything that
to-do
came my
list?
way. Huh?
You had a to-do list?
Yeah.
Okay, now how did you put times to those to-do lists? When did you put the time next to the to-do list to do it?
When I came up with it, because
Okay,
time.
I'm listening, Dr. Bay. Continue, please.
Well, I was going to say, time is a part of knowing what to do and when to do it. When to do it is time.
Right, when to do it. And so, what do you say to people that are not comfortable with adjusting times, or what do you say to people that get frustrated with people that are not on time?
Well, if you're not on time, you're practicing the you're not practicing the 13th law, which is stop lying. Because if you tell somebody you're going to do something at a certain time, and even that somebody's only you, and you don't do it at that time, you're lying. And nobody wants to do business with a liar.
Right. But there's okay. Well, we'll leave that at that. Hmm. Controlling your thoughts, Dr. Bay. We want people to enroll into a program or get into a system of knowing that says, I want to be able to control my thoughts and my emotions, and that in turn is going to help them control their outcomes, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because people are trying to change things from the outside, Dr. Bay. So what is it that's needed to change on the inside? What are some of the key components that need to be changed on the inside? Because we hear this term personal development. Oh, just read a bunch of books. You don't recommend reading books, but what do you recommend?
I recommend one, knowing the reason for being and what to do about it, and when to do. Because if you know what you're supposed to do, you also got to know what to do about it. How can you do something if you don't know what to do?
Right. So the reason for being and what to do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to know, feel free to reach out. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you. So back to the show episode, Dr. Bay. So let's just start out with the reason for being. We're not going to talk about the calculation or how to come to this such thing, but we do want to know. Elaborate on the reason for being. Why is this of such importance? Possibly in the universe, universal consciousness, for someone to know what that means for them, even though they don't know it right now.
Well, uh, uh, think about it. If you really realize that everything, not just you, and everybody has a reason for being, and how can you operate properly with yourself or anybody else or anything else if you don't know its reason for being? If you don't know that heat reason for being is to keep you warm, or that this type of food, this type of vitamin, mineral, cell salt, electrolyte, or whatever is designed to do and keep you healthy, how can you do it if you don't know what to do? So the
So
major thing is, go ahead.
why does a human not know? Why are they not born knowing their reason for being and can just do it on their own? Why is they don't know it when they're born?
Well, because people are programmed many times by, or much of the time by the people around them that don't know what they're doing. And, uh, you know, it's just like, uh, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Well, that what is the most important part of the orange?
The seed,
What is the second most important part of the orange?
the skin that protects it.
Right. But even if you're eating it, what is the most important part of the orange?
Oh, the use of the vitamins or what you get from it, from eating it.
That's true. And what part of the orange has most of the vitamins and things that you need?
The middle. I would assume whatever that's edible of it.
What part is edible?
When you say what part is edible, I mean there are people that eat the seed just because they can. I mean they can eat the traditional fiber or the what they call the meat of the fruit. It's just they have it has a shell around it. So, am I missing something?
Yes, the most important part that got the most nutrients in it is the part you call in the shell, which is what most people throw away. But they don't know that they don't know.
You said most important part.
Yes, it's
It
got the
might.
most nutrition.
How do you
The
extract the
skin
nutritional value from the skin?
with your by chewing it.
But okay, well, okay, we're okay. We'll keep it moving on that one as far as that goes. I don't want to go too deep on pesticides and stuff like that on the skin, but that
You ain't
unless
got no business putting no pesticide on nothing.
I know that, but Dr. Bay, a lot of people are getting fruit from the store, so if they're getting fruit from the store,
I know,
all right, that's all I'm
and
saying.
all of that is a major challenge. We got to stop
Dr. Bay,
doing what we don't need to
you
do.
travel through the concrete jungle. How are you able to eat quote unquote healthy when you're traveling through the concrete jungle for all these years?
Well, I personally had to go and look for what's in the rest of the world, and I was fortunate enough to run into this guy that had a way for me to get what I wanted without, uh, even if you buy something from another country, when they bring it into this country, they send it through a system that causes it many times to be detrimental or kill some of the forces in it. And what we got to realize is that almost none of the everything is designed to be in a system. So you need the right nutrition in the right system. You don't need vitamin this vitamin or that vitamin separated from the other vitamins that's with it that helps it process itself. You need all of the system. And it is divinely designed and has a reason for being in a system and in the system that it's in. It's
Right.
just like people talking about organic food. To me, uh, you should never eat organic food.
Oh, really? You're
That's
against
not
that?
that's not that's not the system.
The system's not organic?
The system, organic, is using something to fertilize something that is not a part of the system. Think of this: the whole world is full of trees and plants. Nobody is fertilizing any of them, and they're growing and coming up on their own every year. It's these organic things that ain't coming up every year. It ain't strong enough to reproduce itself, less only you.
Hmm.
But people don't know that they don't know.
Correct. So let's talk about it, Dr. Bay. Let's give them some information to where they understand it. You got to enroll in the system. You got to be in contact with Christian at
That is
trustchristian.com.
totally why they should get in touch with you and get involved in the system so they'll know.
Okay, so a system. A lot of people may not necessarily be against the system, but they don't understand that estate planning is a system. Generational wealth is in a system. Could you talk about that, Dr. Bay? How you would talk to people or your clients about that type of stuff?
Well, everything is a system. And it's just like purchasing life insurance. Too many people purchase it strictly to bury them. But that's not why insurance was created. The creation of insurance to start out with was done by the people that own ships. They would, these storms and things at sea would cause them to lose their ships. And so they formed a company relationship, the different people that had ships, and said, well, let's do this. Let's put money into this ongoing. And then when one of us loses a ship, we can replace that ship. So insurance is designed to replace an asset. So if you it's not designed to bury somebody, it's the person has a value, and it's designed to replace the value. You know, there are various types of structures, and many people don't understand. They don't understand business structures like a partnership. What happens if you're in a partnership and one of the partners dies? You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you said, oh, so, well, traditionally, if, let's just say there's a partnership between one guy and another guy, if one passes away, what's unfortunate is you want to definitely have contracts in place. If you don't have contracts in place, a default position, the wife or the significant other of one of the parties that has deceased could definitely lock up the company via litigation and lawsuit because that's their significant other, that's the last name, and they file taxes together to a degree possibly, so they probably have she would or that significant other would want to find out about cash flow, find out about rights to the company, things like that. Uh, by not having like you're aware of a cross sale agreement um, for the families in place, it definitely presents a challenge for the families or the parties involved because uh, the party that's still alive, they're going to be fine, but they're now waiting for the clearing of the other name not being on the company any longer. As long as that name is on the company, it presents a problem for suit and for sure litigation. So that's what I would say about that.
Well, I was talking about the factors involved, such as if one partner dies, then the other partner can keep running the business, but if they do, then the assets are split between the heirs and them. But if the partner loses, all of the losses is with the one that keeps on running the business and not with the people or the heirs that didn't. There's a whole system of regulatory aspects to it. And so that's why you should have a replacement thing called a buy and sell agreement. When so that when one partner dies, let's say the business is worth $5 million and there's a 50-50 partnership, then when one partner dies, then you should have the coverage that's going to pay for the other partners to own it and set up a system that is going to manage the assets for the other that of the money that's going to be given to the heirs of the other partner. There's a whole system involved in what should happen and how it should happen. And what if it don't happen that way? What the legal ramifications there are.
That's definitely important. I would say that much, Dr. Bade. Okay, so here we go. So you just dropped a major gem on individuals and continued the conversation of what's called a buy-sell agreement, which is very important, very fair. We just want to dig deeper into estate planning today specifically. Please share how that relates to estate planning.
Well, that is a portion of estate planning.
Okay.
That is what's happening. Let's say that the other $2.5 million is a part of now the deceased estate that is going to their family
Hmm.
and needs to be set up in a trust that for
Oh,
proper management.
so what do you think about people that don't have $1 million saved up at retirement before they're deceased? What do you say to someone that doesn't have $1 million before they're retired?
Uh, well, if they don't have it, then they need to be able to structure a system to give them what they need. And that is the reason for insurance.
Okay.
To,
Interesting.
to insurance is designed to replace the loss.
Right. Hmm. And most people don't hear it that way, Dr. Bay. And it's interesting because it was someone we talked to today actually already about them operating out of Canada and having a Canadian license for insurance, but they're not an American citizen. So is it challenging for people that are non-Americans in that jurisdiction, non-nationals of that jurisdiction or non-citizens of that jurisdiction to do insurance in that jurisdiction in all jurisdictions in the world, you think, for the most part?
Well, first of all, there's so many. It's not only another country. It could be another. There's, for an example, New York has some laws that say that any insurance company that operates in their state has to operate the exact same way in every state. No other state has that.
Hmm.
And so then you got to understand that there are various types of states. There are Commonwealth states, there are community property states, there are land trust states, and so forth and so on. And what the jurisdictional structure and law system is in each one of them.
Very important. Okay. We're talking about the estate plan because a lot of people are saying, look, I got an estate, Dr. Bay, it just doesn't have $1 million in it. So can I be in trust? Can I be in? Can I be in these private sector? Can I do those things, Dr. Bay, if I don't have the money right now?
Well, that's the reason to get insurance is to get to replace the loss. Uh, uh, Other than that, certain types of if you're looking at a trust, who's going to administer the trust?
Right.
And so, uh, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your children, which one of them? How many of them knows how to invest the funds? How many can you trust with the funds? That like I was in a meeting yesterday, and they was talking about how the people that make the most money throw away the most money, eat the more of the wrong foods, and mess themselves up with drugs and alcohol and all the other stuff. The same thing is with the trust. Uh, who is guaranteeing the trust? You got to go back to the insurance. The trust needs to be insured.
Very important. And so that is something that, once again, Dr. Bay, you're dropping jewels right now. So, once again, Dr. Bay, these are the type of conversations that we have with trustees. These are the conversations that we have in the trustee training with trustees when it comes to asset acquisition or asset allocation, and asset management overall. And just talking about that, hearing you say that once again is just a reiterated point, and it is definitely important. A lot of people out here are benefiting from what you're talking about right now, but there's so many that need to know more about what you're talking about from the perspective that you're talking about it from. It could because it's just so vitally important. So appreciate you for sharing that information, Dr. Bay, uh, about
But
ensuring the greatest asset.
I, 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 I did estate planning for about 31 years.
Okay.
And I only found one person in 31 years whose estate was set up properly.
Hmm. Who was that?
I'm not supposed to give out personal information
Well, okay. No worries. I just thought you could name drop. That would have been no. That would be great that they to know that they're the example. Okay, so let's just talk about highlight points. What made their estate set up properly, in your opinion?
because they had all of the asset and the documentation set up with the type of organization that was insured to carry out the thing that needed to be carried out in their thing. In other words, they had a business. They were in a um, LLC. You know what an LLC is?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a limited liability company. Right.
Exactly right. And what does most people think it is?
Uh, that was a tough one. I think most people that have LLCs kind of uh, I don't think most people know that it is a corporation and it is separate of themselves. I think
No,
they.
no, 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 no. Now you don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
It is not a corporation.
It's not normally classified that you actually have to get it elected as
It
that.
is not a corporation. If it's a corporation, it's not an LLC.
Okay, then fine. You're right about that. We'll go agree on that. The C corp is the corporation. LLC. I understand what you're saying. We're good on the same page.
Yeah. So the challenge is people don't know that they don't know.
Hmm.
But this type of training is the type of training that they should get in touch with you about so that they can see the program that we got that could benefit them in that way.
Definitely. Okay. It's always just so much information that you give us, Dr. Bay, when we're sitting here talking about this type of stuff. These things are fascinating. At the same time, they're rather actually important to most people that are engaged in wanting to hold on to money and build something. So now you all know. Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
most people don't aren't trying to build anything. That's the reason they get into the concept of go to school so you can get a good education, so you can get a good job. That's not trying to build something.
Correct. Well, building something is definitely a little bit different than, like you say, just get in and plug and play. Okay, Dr. Bay, did you build your business model? Okay, no, let's go back to the successful trustees that you've seen in 30 years. The one that was the family that was set up correctly. Okay, or in correct positions. Could you describe what their estate looked like to you? What are some, once again, highlight points of their estate that really highlighted to you on why they were so successful?
Well, and they had all of the documentations properly structured to make sure that their estate would be carried out properly.
Okay, so they have really good minutes.
They had the assets and the proper structure of those assets as it pertained to the type of assets they had. And
Okay, so did they tell you where they learned how to structure their family properly?
they didn't know how. Somebody did it for them.
Okay, do you know who did it for them?
Yes.
Is that something you can share?
No, I could, yes.
With me privately, though.
But see, you're not supposed to give other people's business out.
We're not, but we're just trying to be. How you
Uh,
gonna learn something if you don't know it? The only way you gonna know it is by
I'm
asking
not
and know.
trying to teach. I'm not trying to teach nothing now. I'm trying to get them to get in
I know.
to come through and get involved.
Right. But Dr. Bay, this is all about wealth preservation. We're talking about people planning their estate, and you've always talked about it.
Absolutely.
How are you going to get to a destination that you haven't planned? Well, okay, once we get in the
I totally agree.
okay, so here we go. Some people are going to say, okay, I know where I want to go. Now you're sharing with me the vehicles that are going to help me get there expeditiously, to get there as fast as possible and in a very proper manner. But nevertheless, we still want to know you got to know how to drive the car.
I'm not trying to get somebody to circumvent what we got.
That's
I'm
fair.
trying to get somebody to get involved in it.
That's fair. No
That
worries. No worries. We got it, Dr. B. I'm with you on that one right here. I got you, Dr. B. And that's why I just want to let all you all listening in the audience know, Dr. B and us have real conversations because he's a real man. He ain't just somebody playing around. He's somebody that, has a really extensive background and knowledge base in everything that he does. And we just appreciate him for everything that he shares, and works with us on and just appreciate it, Dr. B. So, um, we've been using, we know all about when we talk about, oh, do you know what day it is or week it is for you, ladies and gentlemen? One thing we could share is it's rather important to know what day it is for you, what year it is for you. Because people at one point, they always say, oh, I got to get better time management skills of planning my schedule. I want to get control of it. You can reach out and we can go over that. Definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. Always appreciate everybody that hits the like and the subscribe button. Thank you, Dr. Bay, for coming on today. This was definitely a good episode. We wanted to have one of those dynamic conversations where it's really about that plan that you got to have in place every single day. Like you say, if you don't have a plan, then you're not planning to do anything. So we definitely want to make it a point to have that plan, feel confident that it could go. We got to know what we want, but open to the unexpected. When you hear that, Dr. Bay, when you hear somebody say, "I know what I want, but I'm open to the unexpected," what would you say to them?
I know what I want.
Correct.
but I'm open to the unexpected.
Yes. And I'm open to the unexpected.
I want to know what they're doing.
Well, just having the
Are
proper.
they doing what they want and open to the unexpected?
Are they doing what they want and open to the unexpected?
Yes,
Okay. Once they give you that answer, that will give you a better grasp on are they going to achieve it or not, correct?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Well, we definitely appreciate you sharing that, Dr. Bay. Uh, that was definitely a show shocker right there. Just kind of reiterating, you got to know what you want, but when you know it, you're doing it, and when you're doing it, you're open to the unexpected. Thank you, Dr. Bay. Appreciate that. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all. Dr. Bay and us, we already have a Dr. Bay. We actually have a date that we're finalizing right now for actually doing something in the realm of what do people want to call it, like past life regression. They want to do a mastermind session with us. So right now we're looking at the past life regression, and so feel free to reach out. We're definitely doing it with select people, so we look forward to hearing from you all. Christian at trustchristian.com. Peace and joy.